Now, the sequence by which you greet the shooter and you instruct him to go through the stage of fire is fairly important, and we have some procedures that we ask you to follow fairly strictly. For example, let me show you how it would probably go in my case if I'm running a shooter through a very basic stage of fire. All right, first you're going to greet the shooter. Welcome, shooter, would you please step to the line? At this time when the shooter steps up, it's always a good opportunity for me as the safety officer to do a quick equipment check to make sure, for example, that the shooter is wearing his equipment, spare ammo in his holster in a proper position. If you see at this time the equipment's not correct or is not worn properly, it's a good time for you to talk to the shooter about it and make him aware of where his weapon should be worn and how. Now, one of the first things I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the shooter, do you have any questions concerning the stage of fire?
No.
Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is tell the shooter to please face down range, load, and make ready. Shooter, face down range, load, and make ready. Now you'll notice that the shooter is going to top off his magazine, put an extra round in. Remember, we start all stages in IDPA with the pistol loaded to a legal IDPA full capacity, unless the stage specifies differently. The next sequence of commands the safety officer is going to give after the shooter has been told to load and make ready will be the command, shooter ready, which in fact is a question. When I give this command, I'm giving the shooter one last chance to acknowledge whether he's prepared to shoot or not. If he doesn't give a negative reply, tells me he's ready to go, and the sequence will continue. So it would be shooter ready. Normally about a 1 to 2 second delay. My next command will be a stand by. At this time, ideally, as a safety officer, I should be positioned slightly to the rear of the shooter and on his strong or dominant side hand, the side he's wearing the gun, so I can observe his handling the gun. Now, I don't want to get directly behind him because in the process of draw, I can be in line with the muzzle. So I want to be in a position where I'm not going to have the gun pointed at me, but where I can see what he's going to do. So my final command is going to be, after the command stand by, I'm going to push the buzzer, normally 1 to 2, maybe 3 seconds after the command of stand by. After the shooter reholsters, and let's assume this string or stage of fire is over with, my next responsibility as a safety officer is to make sure that he has an empty and clear weapon. And I would give the command, unload and show clear. Now before we do that, keep in mind that it's my responsibility to make sure the weapon's empty, not his. So I have to see it. That's why I want to be in this position. So let's try it. Unload and show clear. It's now my responsibility to make sure that that weapon is visually, no magazine, nothing in the chamber. Then I can give the command, slide forward, hammer down. My final command is holster. And now I can announce range is safe, at which time we're free to move down range, score, and pace targets.